It is yours. It is yours. Sister Mary, Dama give Sister Mary. Sister Mary, we're asking for 2 prayers for Dama. She's our leader. She's new. She's doing the work. As you receive the gift, pray for her. Thank you. Sister Janet, I'm told she's not here. Just keep it. We will find a special time to give her. Dama, you want to say something?
Our teachers, thank you so much for coming. And next time when we call you, kindly come. We shall pray for one another, and I know God is going to bless you so much. Thank you.
Children's Camp 2020. This side, you are very quiet. I don't know. Or the bases are too low. I want to hear this side also. Children's Camp 2020. Living for Jesus. It's only this side which are in the camp. This other one, they have spectators. But we thank God for another time that He has given us to learn from His Word. We have been learning in the morning about Daniel and about being courageous in times of crisis, about being courageous. And I'm going to just emphasize a little about being strong and very courageous. These are some of the 2 things that are needed for us to live for Jesus. For us to live for Jesus, we need strength and courage. So, like we saw in the morning, the strength and courage of Daniel. You saw what Daniel did. We also need what we read in Daniel chapter 3, the courage and strength to stand firm that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had. Why do we need to have courage? Because we live in a world where the forces of evil are struggling to take control of us, you and me, God's child. Satan is trying to take control of us. And so the word there I've written in bracket, cosmos. That is the original language that is means the world in the Bible, cosmos. So we are talking about the war, the struggle between bad and good, evil and good. The struggle did not start with us. It started where? It started where? Where am I pointing? Where did it start? In heaven. And the Bible tells us the struggle started between God and Satan. And so the archangel, who is Jesus Christ, came and died so that he can reclaim man who was misinformed by the devil to disobey God, and he became the child of Satan. We are doing things which are evil because our Father, the Father who has taken the devil. And so the struggle is still continuing. Our Father in heaven, who created us and saved us, is struggling. Who are we supposed to give our praise and worship, our thanksgiving, our prayers? Who is Jesus Christ? So the struggle that is going on is between good and evil. Good is represented by Jesus Christ, who died for all the world, that everybody who believes in him may not perish but have an eternal life promised for God's children. While the devil is trying to gain authority where he is not needed. He is not the creator. He did not make the world, but he wants to take control of the world from Christ. And so that war begins, continues. It began in heaven, it continues until Jesus will come back again. And I said, the war is about who is superior, who is supposed to be worshipped, who are we supposed to bow down to? Is it God or Satan? And you know what? We are not left without knowing what God, that we worship Him. God gave us commandments. In the commandments, there is a structure of how we are supposed to worship God. So by obeying the commandments, we worship God. And in the commandment, the devil is using some people. The Bible tells us in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, about a person of high authority who tampered with the commandment of God. As you see in that picture, it's like he wanted to carve it out of the 10 commandments so that people forget about God. Because in that commandment, which commandment are we talking about if you know? There is commandment number 1, which talks about what? Huh? Hello? Look at Exodus 20 quickly, and then you tell me. Commandment number 1 is what? Commandment number 2. And this commandment that is being tampered with, that is being destroyed, who is destroying it? And why is he destroying it? Commandment number 1. Can somebody say it clearly? Yes? You shall have no other gods before me. God is giving a command for his children that for you to live like Jesus, don't have anybody that you worship. Don't have anybody that you offer allegiance to, but only to one true God who created us, who saved us. Number 2. Yes, this side. You shall have no other gods before God, isn't it? Which gods is it talking about in the book there? Can you read on? Can you read on? Have no other gods. Continue. Only that. It says you shall have no other gods or make any image of anything that you worship. And you know, here is not just kneeling down to a statue and worshiping a statue. No. Everything that you hold so dear, that you love so much more than you love God, that is another God for you. There are people who has made, fashion be their God. They change clothes 3 fashionable. Something that you love more than you love God, more than you love anybody else, that is a God for you. And God is telling us, do not have any other God before him, and you should not make any image about this God. You should not idolize anything else other than God who is in heaven. It's as we were doing our Bible study that Daniel was obedient to God. Daniel 6 told us that some enemies of Daniel wanted to do away with Daniel. They wanted to kill Daniel, and they knew if they require that Daniel worship another God, then they'll have another reason, because Daniel will not worship any other God apart from God in heaven. Daniel, even after the decree was given by the king, he went on. In fact, he opened his windows and knelt down facing outward and started worshiping God kama kawaida yake, as normal, as if there was nothing going on. Then obedience was shown by the 3 Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When everybody else was bowing to the statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had made, the 3 of them, as you can see in the picture, they stood firm. They had the strength, they had the courage to deny the instruction which was commanding them to obey the king who has instructed to be the image which he erected to be worshipped. And so we can be strong, we can be courageous if we worship God the way he has instructed us to worship him. He said, you should not have no other God before me. You should not worship anything else except me. You should not make any image. You should not idolize anything in your life. You should not love anything more than you love God. And then number 3, you should honor your parents here while you live here on earth. And number 4 is the one which is being tampered with, because the devil does not want us to remember that God is in control of the world and is in control of our life. That for us to be courageous, we need to be full of faith. We need faith. What is faith? Faith, as it is linked to courage, faith is having the courage to let God have control. You submit, you surrender so that God controls your life. And when you do that, you have the courage, you have confidence in God that there is nothing wrong that is going to happen in your life. Even as we do that, we may have courage, yes, but that does not mean that when you have courage, you are not, you are now confident. Some of us have courage, but they are not very confident because there are some aspects of fear which is still holding their lives. And so, for us to have real courage without fear, we need to have faith, even abundance of faith. So much faith, because it is faith which pushes us to do things which are impossible. It is faith. It does not make your situation easy, but faith makes you do impossible things. Like in this picture that you are seeing there. Faith in beyond what we see gives us the courage to do the impossible. It is very impossible to jump from one cliff to another. It's very impossible under ordinary circumstances. But when you have faith, God will inspire you. God will give you the confidence and courage that you need to do that which they think is impossible. I've said 3 things now. What do we need to have courage and be strong? Number 1, we need to worship God the right way that he has directed us to worship him. Number 2, we need to be what? Obedient to God. Number 3, we need to have faith. We need to have faith. The 4th thing that we need so as to be courageous, to have courage like that of Daniel, we need to trust God. In the Bible, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6, we read, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not in your own understanding, in all your ways submit to him, God, and God will make your path straight. God will make your life be like that of Jesus. You will not have anything to worry about. How can I live as a Christian? How can I live for Jesus? But God will make it very possible for you to live for Jesus. So strength and courage, they go hand in hand. The Bible also tells us, wherever you go. These words, the Lord assuring Joshua that the way I have been with Moses over the, and there was a time, that was the time, I don't know if that bridge exists there because I've never been there. There was the bridge in London, which we used to sing when we were small. London Bridge is broken down, broken down. You have heard that song? Yes. So the bridge, when the ship will pass over the bridge will come up and then allow the to pass. And then it will come down slowly. And then cars will pass over it to the other side of the ocean or lake, wherever. And so when this boy, he was 9 years, he was taken by his father, the captain. And when he looked from afar, he found out that he saw that the bridge is still flat. It is still flat, and they are so close to the bridge. And everybody there in the ship was fearing that they will do what? They will have a head-on collision because of the bridge. But this boy was so confident. He was so happy. He didn't have anything to worry about. Why? Because he's trusted the father who has been a captain for many, many years. He was born knowing that his father is a good captain. So he had confidence in the captain who is his father. And so as the others were really showing a lot of fear, this boy was just calm, sitting by the dad, and he's telling the dad, "Dad, will we make it?" He said, "Okay, I know, boy, we are going to make it. God will help us. By the time we reach there, the bridge will be up." And so as people were crying, saying, "Oh, we are finished. We are done. We are going to die," this boy was calm because he knew his father is the captain of the ship, and the father has assured him that they will make it. And indeed, they made it. By the time they were the bridge was high enough for them to pass through. Praise the Lord. Yes, when we have courage, we don't have need to fear, because the one who told us to be courageous, God himself, has promised to be with us. And if God is with us, then why do we need to be afraid? Because God is a God of impossibles. He makes things which are impossible become possible. For those who have faith in God, for those who have confidence in God, for those who trust in God, he makes the impossible things become possible. The last thing that we are talking about that can help us to be strong and courageous is, this guy said it. This is from an unknown author. He's saying, one of the happiest moments in life is when we find courage to let go of what you can't change. Are there things in our lives that we can't change? Hello? Are there things in our lives that we can't change? I can't change the place where I was born. I'm born a Luo. I cannot change that one. I can't change my parents. I cannot exchange my parents for another. If God will work in them the change that I would really desire to see in my parents. So when we have courage, the only way we can get courage is to accept and trust God for the things that we cannot change about ourselves. Maybe the way you walk, the way your feet, if your feet is masguembe, you cannot change that. You are made to be like that. But I like the Pathfinder thing. There was a time, we call it the Kaswanga beat, I think. One of the teachers was limping a bit. And so one of the methods of drill, there is you. So you march like this. You don't know that, this guy was happy with the way he's made. Even as a lame person, he can still do what? March. And the children imitate the way he marched. Nakumbe, they don't know that's the way he walks. You accept and make the best out of it. Out of that bad situation that you cannot change, you make the best out of it. I know many teenage girls, they don't like being fat. When every day they look at themselves at the mirror, they hate themselves. They are fat. It's a period in your life that you have to grow body. Your body is changing. Accept those changes. And later, you will struggle by the grace of God and you'll go back to the shape that you want. Courage is accepting things that you cannot change about yourself. And so, with courage and strength, we will be bold to worship and obey God like Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. We will face challenging situations without fear, like our theme for today was saying, resist the devil. Say no to the devil and the devil will flee. You'll have that strength. You'll have that courage to say no to the devil and the devil will flee away. You will also accept things you can't change about your life, especially body weight, height, abusive parents. I've already said about those things. If you have siblings who are treating you badly, you cannot change them in a moment like that. But if you trust God, you submit them to God, God will change them by and by. And the bad that you see in them will disappear and you only see the good things. You will be bold to commit your life to God's control, because that is the only way to live courageously. As you submit to God, God takes care of your life and he does things that are deemed impossible in your life and everything becomes straight and new. I want us to pray. And this day, I want to pray with 3 groups of people. The first group that I want to do things which are impossible. I've not been able to stand firm on my principles, on what I believe to be true, but I want to do that. Help me, dear Lord, so that I can have that boldness to worship you in the right way and obey you like Daniel and his friends did. Can I see your hands? If you want that boldness of Daniel. Another songwriter said, dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known. You want to dare, like Daniel dared, like the 3 Hebrew boys dared, and they stood alone. I want to invite Pastor to come and pray with us. Those who want to dare, please stand so that we can pray together with you. You want to dare to be like a Daniel. You want God to help you, to give you that boldness to live and worship him like he deserves. If you are there, please, shall we rise all of us? And then those who want to dare, you can come in front, join Pastor here so that Pastor can pray with you. As they are coming, I want also to pray for the second group of people who have been tempted in so many ways. I know you have been tempted again and again in your life. There are so many things that you did not want to do, but the devil is just pushing you. Do it, do it, do it. You know it. I cannot tell you what it is. You know it in your heart. Things which the devil has tempted you to do it. But today, you want to tell God, please help me to resist the devil, to say no to the devil, so that he cannot tempt me anymore. If you are there, I'm talking and I want you to come in front. If you feel that you need this kind of prayer, please come in front so that we can pray for you. Those who want to resist the devil, those who want to be bold, just come, just come. Come, please. The teachers, can you come also? Because we want to take their names. Those who want to resist the devil, because you cannot by your own might. You can only do it by the strength that God gives us. You want that strength. Come. Then, shh.
Should they be down, face up?
Yeah, keep the social distance, please. Keep the social distance, please. And that is why I want the beginners who are coming to beginners and kindergarten this side. You stand on your side, don't mingle. And make sure you keep the social distance. Do like this so that you don't infect each other. Okay? Now, the last people that I want to pray with are the people who want to commit their life to be baptized so that they live for Jesus all the days of their lives. If you are there, I just want you to raise up your hand wherever you are. We are going to pray with you that God may give you boldness to commit your life to Christ through the waters of baptism. And also after this prayer, pastor is here. Please see the pastor for other arrangements, how you can be helped to be baptized. Live for Jesus. That's what matters. And other houses crumble, mine is strong. Live for Jesus. That's what matters. And you see the light in me.